Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down how one company added the power of 6 full-time employees and boosted their sales by over 150%, all by deploying a new kind of AI workforce. And no, this isn't science fiction. This is a real-world story about building a revenue engine.
Okay, let's just start with a question. I want you to really think about this for a second. What if you could instantly add 6 new people to your team right now? What would that actually mean for your sales goals, your customer support quality, your ability to grow? Just keep that thought in your head.
You see, for a company called SmartZip, this wasn't just some hypothetical question. These are their actual results. And we're kind of giving away the punchline right at the beginning here. Look at this. Response times went from 2 hours down to under 90 seconds. Demos booked, they skyrocketed by 158%. And yeah, they effectively added 6 full-time employees to the team. This is the story of how they pulled it off. So to really get why this solution was so powerful, you first have to understand the problem. And for SmartZip, it was one of those good problems, you know? Their own success was actually starting to cause some major headaches. First off, who is SmartZip? Well, they're a fast-growing software company, and they give real estate agents this incredible tool using predictive analytics to help them find and win more business. And let's just say it got really, really popular. As their popularity just exploded, their tiny team of only 6 people was, well, they were drowning. They were getting slammed with a constant flood of questions from potential customers, technical support issues, and just the logistical nightmare of scheduling demos across every time zone. They just couldn't keep up. They knew the old playbook of just hiring more people wasn't going to be fast enough or smart enough. So they looked for a totally different kind of solution, something called an agentic workforce. So what in the world is an agentic workforce? Now, this is really important. We are not talking about a simple chatbot that pops up in the corner of a website. No way. Think of it more like a true digital team, a group of AI agents built to handle complex, multi-step jobs just like a human team would. They ended up choosing a platform called Raia for a couple of really key reasons. First, it had one central brain that could work everywhere: chat, email, you name it. It could also learn their entire business, and I mean over 7,000 pages of documents, in just minutes. Plus, it connected right into the tools they were already using like HubSpot and Salesforce. Super seamless. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. How did they actually build this thing? What was the game plan for deploying their new AI team? This is the cool part. They didn't just build one AI, they built a specialized team. First up, a sales qual agent, whose whole job was to greet leads and get demos on the calendar. Then a support concierge agent, which handled all those how-to questions. And finally, a customer success agent that would follow up with new users to make sure everything was going smoothly. And here's the part that just blows my mind: the speed. You think a project like this would take a year, right? Maybe more? Nope. They went from uploading their documents to a public launch of their first 2 agents in just 8 weeks. 8! That is just incredibly fast. All right, now for the part everyone's been waiting for, the results. I mean, what did this 8-week project actually do for the business? Well, the impact was immediate and honestly pretty staggering. Just look at that number. Within the first 120 days, that AI team drove a 158% increase in sales demos booked every single month. That's not just a small bump, that's a total game changer. They went from 120 demos a month to over 300. So the AI workforce was fielding about 6,500 conversations a month. And check this out, it completely resolved 2/3 of them without a human ever having to get involved. Done. Problem solved. The other third, they were perfectly pre-qualified and handed off to a human rep ready to go. And all that work added up to being the equivalent of 6 full-time employees. Remember that question we started with? Well, here's the answer. For SmartZip, this meant saving an estimated $480,000 a year. Just wow. But, this wasn't just about efficiency or saving money. What about the actual customer experience? Well, it turns out customers were happier because they were getting instant 24/7 answers to their questions. Their satisfaction scores actually went up significantly. And this quote from SmartZip's VP of Revenue Operations really says it all. The AI agents did the work of an entire pod, handling all the repetitive stuff. This let their human experts focus on what they do best, closing big deals and building real relationships with their clients.
So, this is a fantastic story. But what can we actually learn from it? What's the blueprint we can take away from SmartZip's incredible success?
Their playbook really gives us 3 clear lessons. 1, lead with revenue. Go after the task that's going to pay for the project the fastest. For them, that was sales. 2, train your AI on real conversations, not just some stuffy handbook. You want it to sound authentic. And 3, make sure you have one unified AI brain across all your channels, so the customer experience is always seamless.
So the bottom line is this. SmartZip took a scaling crisis that could have broken them and turned it into a massive advantage. They built an AI workforce that became a powerful revenue engine and a support safety net, and they transformed their entire business without adding a single person to the payroll.
And they're not stopping there. They're already planning to add new agents for things like predictive upsells and even Spanish language support. So that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. If you could build an AI agent to solve just one problem in your business, what would you have it do first?